I like having conversations with people, about game theories and about the game. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? We all like to play games, right? It's still funny, the idea of some people, not being able to understand, or at least if they somewhat understand the idea of the combolist strategy, they still prefer to play the way they like to play. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. To each their own, and I agree. To each their own. And I've said it many times before. Whatever works, right? So if it works for you to to combo and play super combos and stuff like that, if it works for you to play that way, right? Or that's what you want to, you plan to do that a lot when you play, that is fine. If it works, right? I don't care, I don't mind. The thing that's interesting with some decks, it makes sense to combo per se, because if you have a 30 card hand consistently whenever you're playing a certain deck, well then yeah, of course, comboing will be something you'll do a lot. Secondarily, not first, but secondarily to your negates and your blockers, right? So your negate stuff, your block stuff, obviously, right? But then you'll have a whole bunch of combo power because you drew a shitload of cards. Fair enough when you're playing that type of deck, but not every deck can draw 30 cards, right? Not every deck can draw a shit ton of cards. This is why hand control decks do be a problem, right? Because not every deck draws a shitload of cards, right? Draw 3, 4, 5 cards a turn. So with that in mind, the fact that you're not going to be drawing a lot, and you probably don't draw a lot, you probably draw at most one for your turn, one for your leader. If that's all you're drawing every turn, comboing is not logical. Like, it's not smart. It's not the best thing you can do to combo, period. Not about super combos, but period. It's not a good idea to combo anything, because that's just a waste of a card. You're literally throwing it away. I'd rather use units and blockers, because units and blockers stay on the field longer, especially if they have +1 abilities. Negates, at least, especially negates that are reusable. Floodgate negates are the best ones, right? Because the thing about floodgate negates, it saves you combo power, right? Just by playing Topo or something like that, or Oceanus or Violent Rays or something like that, saves you a whole bunch of combo power. You don't have to combo because your opponent could barely attack. The only reason you're comboing is because your opponent's attacking. So if you're letting your opponent attack you and you're constantly comboing every time you're playing, that's a you problem. That's you allowing your opponent to even be able to attack you. Think about it like a real fight. You're letting your opponent punch you? Oh, but I could block. Yeah, you could block, right? Or, oh, I could weave. Yeah, you could weave, bob and weave, right? Or you can knock your opponent the fuck out. Why are you wasting time letting your opponent get swings on you? That makes no sense. And if it don't make sense, well, don't make dollars, right? So the thing is about being logical. It's like, you rather save. Yes, comboing defensively is what I recommend more than comboing offensively. So it's more of a waste when you combo when you're attacking than when you're defending. When you're defending, there's some value to it, right? You combo because you're not trying to lose. Fair enough. But you shouldn't be allowing your opponent to be attacking you in the first place. You should have a strategy, some cards that you're going to use to not allow your opponent to get to the combo phase. If they're in the combo phase, it's because you're letting them swing on you. Why are you letting them swing on you? Why are you letting them have a battle phase in the first place? Do what you can to reduce that. That's why, some players like to play stuff like myself, Hatchiak, that reduces battle phases. Boma, turning things into blockers, that reduces battle phases, right? Or at least, yeah, battle phase as in being able to get to combo step of my leader. It's like, yeah, you can swing, I'll block. You can swing again, I'll block. Right? Oh, you swing again, I'll negate. You're never getting to the point of comboing because I'm constantly stopping you. Oh, drop baby Hatchiak. You end your turn? Yes, you do. Like, I'm not allowing you to get to the combo step, so why? So it's not that deep to combo, right? Now, granted, some people, talk about the idea of comboing, can sway the match one way or another. Because of you combo your hand, you combo an attack. Let's say you swing with your leader, you chompa and you dump your whole hand, and then you get your leader to like 150k double strike or some shit like that, right? All right, that's cool and all. but somehow your opponent manages to out combo it. Right? Okay, that can happen, right? But notice that that's a random scenario. You couldn't guarantee, even when you were using super combos, that the attack was going to go through. Right? Just like you can't guarantee that your opponent had enough combo power to stop you. But what if they did? See, it boils down to randomness when it comes to using super combos or combos in general. Just the idea of comboing, because as an attacker, you don't know if your opponent can out combo or not. So you're guessing. Your opponent's not guessing. Your opponent knows exactly how strong your attack is, because once you're done comboing, you tell them how much it is, like, oh, 150k double strike, and they'll be like, all right, and then they look at their hand, and they'll start playing some super combos, or, you know, and they'll try to out combo. They'll do the math real quick and try to out combo, and they probably will manage to do so, if that's what happens. So as an attacker, whether you use super combos or not, it's irrelevant, because what boils down to your attack going through or not, and you winning the game or not, it will be dependent if your opponent could out combo. But for all that, your opponent was better off just negating the attack, blocking the attack, or playing something that could, you know, prevent the damage or something, right? Or reduce the damage, right? Maybe negate the double strike skill, so that way it will only be 1 damage instead of 2 damage or something like that, right? It'd be better for them to do stuff like that, and that stuff requires less cards. The thing about comboing is that that's why we call it combo, because you're actually combining a whole bunch of cards together to try to add up to a certain number, to try to out combo. And it's like, yeah, you know, that happens. And if it happens, it happens. The thing is like, it's not necessary to try to make it happen. You're better off having a win con. You're better off having a strategy where it's like, okay, first 4 damage is the easiest, the next 2 requires a little effort, and the last 2 is the hardest. And all I have to do is just make sure I can deal the last 2 damage. So how can I guarantee I can do the last 2 damage to go for game? So these are things you got to take into consideration. Make sure they don't have blockers. Make sure they can't negate. And for example, making sure they're tapped out so they couldn't play negate. Granted, we have some free negates, so hopefully they don't have any, right? So make sure they have no blockers, but make sure you cleared their board. Make sure they're tapped out so they can't play negates, or even use 10k that cost an energy, like, you know, battle cards that cost 1 energy to combo 10k, right? So they can't do that, so make sure they're tapped out. And then, you know, and then hopefully they have a small hand size, so the likelihood, even if they have super combos, you know, they won't be able to combo that much. And you already have determined that if they, let's say they have a 6-card hand with 4 super combos, and each super combo drew a card and drew a 5k combo power, which means those 4 super combos can potentially net you 20k extra combo power. So that's 60 combo power, plus the other 2 cards from your hand are 5k combo power, right? So that's an extra 10k. So now, so a 6-card hand could be 70 combo power. Added to the leader, that's 85k, which means you just need an attack with double strike, for example, right, to be 90k. No, I said it wrong. If they're 85k, you just need to be 85k, because you just need to match them. So you just need an 85k attack, right, to match their, you know, their potential, not guaranteed, potential 85k leader, right? But even so, even if they could, right, if you know, especially if you watch a lot of my other videos and stuff like that, I've been talking about the idea of using things that, you know, have dual attacks, so you can attack more than once. So even if you end up in a scenario where you attack and you combo and your opponent out combos, oh, good for you, I restand, I swing again. You have enough to combo the second attack? No? Oh, the attack goes through and I win? Right? Same thing as if I attack and you negate the attack. All right, good, restand, swing again. Because the thing is, you got to think of blockers, negates, yes, combo power, super combos, right? Take those things to account, and then play stuff that helps you bypass those things, helps you make those things irrelevant. You know, I'm trying. You know, part of my idea of the whole combo strategy is the idea that I'm trying to get away from having to combo, where I just focus on blocking, negating, or just take the damage. Right? And then of course, deal 8 damage to my opponent for game, right? The first 4 is the easiest, next 2 requires a little effort, the last 2 is the hardest, you know. And, you know, for those who are wondering, what I use to win games more often without super combos is, you know, is using some type of strategy that either drastically reduces my opponent's hand size, right? Add another 17 turn tides being one of those cards, you know, Cell being one of those cards, Mirror, Creator, Absorb, having an attack power so high that super combos is irrelevant, because the combo power, you know, my attack power is gonna be so high, especially if I have like over 30 cards in my drop when I overwhelm. My attack power is gonna be so high that, you know, 4 super combos will be irrelevant in that scenario. You rather have a negate or block or something of that nature to help you prevent that attack. Burn. You can't out combo effect damage. You can't out combo me warping your life. You can't, you know, out combo, you know, a Vegito Unison doing this -7 ability where you lose a life and lose 3 cards from your hand. And if you still have life, let's say you still have 1 life left, right? Well, you lost 3 cards in your hand. Sorry. Then I play Cell, right? Drop your hands down to 3. Well, the first thing I do is play Cell, drop your hand down to 3. Then Vegito you, so you lose the last 3 cards in your hand, so you have no hand size. Burn you for 1, and then go for game. What a 30k double strike, you know what I mean? Swing with the leader, swing with Unison, you know, that kind of stuff, and end you out. Like, these are the types of things that I do. Like, I try to get rid of the possibility, the chances of a super combo or whatnot, or combo power being the determining factor of who wins, who loses. Can it happen sometimes? Can you be in a position where it's like you can't avoid the possibility of your opponent out comboing your game winning attack? Yeah, that could happen, but the idea is for you to try to reduce it, so that way it's not a problem. That's what I do. And that's part of the combo list strategy, not just, you know, me trying to avoid comboing, right, but also me making it where my opponent comboing is irrelevant. Because a lot of my attacks, here's the other thing, a lot of my attacks are going to be strong, 30Ks, 40Ks. That's my thing right now. I'm trying to have a lot more 40K attackers. So I'm trying to put cards into my decks that can easily output like a 30K attacker. For example, like a 30K Skillless Battle card, or a Unison. Like there's this Broly, Super Saiyan 4 Prismatic Burst Broly Unison, and for 6 energy, or I should just say when he has 6 markers, he'll be a 40K on your turn, of course. But hey, 40K on your turn is what you need, right? 40K, you can swing with that, right? And then I mentioned before, mirror, you know, you can easily get mirror over 50K power just by overwhelm 4 or more cards, you know. And depending on what deck you have, you're probably gonna have a shitload of cards in your drop. You can easily drop a mirror, right? There's a couple, you know, really good 30K double strike, you know, overwhelm cards you can use and consider. I mean, even just 25K battle card that you can easily play for free or cheaply is going to be a threat. There's 20K Unisons you can take advantage of. But the point is, I'm trying to go with a lot of 30Ks and 40Ks battle cards, or attackers I should say, and swing at my opponent with that, so it forces them to combo. Because if your opponent's leader, even if their opponent's leader is awakened and is a 15K, when you swing with a 30K, they need 20 combo power to out combo, which means they need 2 super combos every time you swing with a 30K, as an example, or 4 or 5Ks from the hand. So either they use 2 cards or 4 cards. You're constantly forcing your opponent to have to use 2 cards or 4 cards if they're comboing. Now, if they negate, block, well, that makes it where they're not losing cards. So you gotta think about math. You gotta think about resource management, right? You gotta think of that. Your opponent, you know how many cards your opponent's gonna use. I love it when my opponent combos. I don't love it when I combo. I hate it when I have to combo. You know, but fortunate for me, if you're curious, if I, when I combo and whatnot, yeah, I combo a lot of times just 5K. 5K is usually enough. Like, I only need to combo 5K to stop an attack more often than not. Because typically I negate, like if something is 20K or above, I tend to block it or negate it. If it's 15k and somebody's like, oh, swing 15k to you later, okay, while I'm awakened, right? It's like, okay, no combo. You're not gonna combo your 15 to my 15, so I only need 5k to stop that attack. Yeah, I'll use 5k, no problem. I got 7 cards in my hand, I'm good. You know what I mean? Especially if I only need 2 cards in my hands to win, like, you know, Android 17 turn tide on my 7th turn, right? Yeah, not a problem. I'll combo 5k right there to avoid that damage, or take it. That's the thing. Either I combo 5k, so I either give up a card and not take damage, or I just take the damage and plus. You know what I mean? It's basic stuff. You know, it's Dragon Ball Super 1-on-1 when it comes to combos. It's just comboing 1-1. But the thing is like, you don't have to combo it. You can force your opponent to be in a position where, one, they're constantly comboing, so their hand size tend to be a lot smaller than yours, or at least more under control. It's not getting out of control. They have like a whole library in their hand, right? A whole book in their hand. So, but then, you know, you're constantly swinging hard, and they have to try to use up a lot of their hand size just to try to survive. You know, because if they don't have blockers, they don't have negates, or they're not willing to take damage, they're going to lose hand size just by you attacking. So you're kind of doing hand control just by attacking. And then, since you're not comboing unless you have to, but typically you don't have to, especially if you play the way I play, you typically don't have to. For example, turn 1, turn 2, I don't really combo. I just take the damage. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 and above. That's when, you know, I still don't combo. I put up a unison blocker, or I just use some negates. You know, like the barrier, the blocker negates that makes the blocker tokens, or I use a floodgate negate, or I use Topo or Oceanus, you know, or shit. Just this weekend I was using what's his name a lot, Gohan's baby's minion, you know, which is my blue Topo, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff I do. Like, okay, you summon the leader, bang, drop my baby's minion. Are you going to attack and lose hand size? No? Cool. I don't lose hand size either, because I'm not comboing, because I'm not allowing you to get to the point where comboing even matters. And these are the reasons, you know, why I don't really, you know, try to use super combos. Now, why I would use super combos, for those who are curious, you know, because of course I can justify not using super combos because of the way I play. Why I would play super combos? Well, obviously, for effects. You know, Zamasu super combo is really good because, you know, you can use it to out combo an attack. Typically, it'd probably be a leader swing. So like, oh, your leader swings at my leader. Oh, you don't combo? Okay, I use Zamasu to out combo that attack and tap one of your battle cards. That way, you can't use your battle card swing at me, right? I can use it defensively, right? Obviously, right? So it's like a free negate, so to speak, right? It's a free negate. So I potentially stop 2 attacks off of 1 free card. I'm all about free cards. I love that. So fair enough, I will use that. But it's not because it's a 10k 0 cost, you know, card that I'm using it. I'm using it because I can stop a potential extra attack for free. That's why I will use it. It's not because it has a keyword skill super combo or anything like that, or there's a 0 cost 10k that I use it. It could literally be 0 cost 0 combo, or even 5k combo, and I will use it just because it's of effect. Now, since I mentioned Zamasu super combo, let's take away its effect. Would I use it? No. It's only a 0 cost 10k. I have plenty of 10ks in my decks that I played that just require 1 energy. Granted, it's not free. I have to pay an energy, but I can afford it. Because I'm usually keeping the energy up to play a negate or a 10k combo if need be. Which typically isn't, because usually my energy is going to be used for negates, and it's probably going to be a floodgate negate, like Violent Rays, Dormant Potential, Unleash, Power of the People, Dimension Magic, or, you know, whatever, right? So that's the thing. It's like when it comes to defense, I mainly block, negate, or I just take the hit. I'm not gonna waste cards in my hands to try to stop damage, especially if it's not crit damage and the card's going to my hand. I'll take the hit. That's a +1 right there. Why am I gonna waste time losing cards in my hand when I could be gaining cards just by taking the hit? So there's that. But other super combos, you know, have their use. Android 18 super combo, right? That's an awesome card because it reduces your opponent's hand size, right? So remember I mentioned earlier about reducing hand size. You know, you want to keep your opponent's hand size low. You want them to run out of the ability to have less combo power, so that way when you do try to go for game, right, and they don't have blockers, they don't have negates, so all they can do is try to out combo. Hopefully they have less combo power because you took away combo power, right? And then there's cards that I call combo killers. There's like a 2-drop Bardic Fraternal Bonds Unison or something like that, which has the auto that lets you, you know, send one of your opponent's one of your opponent's combo cards in the combo area to the drop. So that's, you know, combo killer. So obviously you can use that to kill super combos, right? Make the 0 cost 10k irrelevant because you took it out of the combo area, right? So you can do stuff like that. There's other cards you can use to technically combo, so you don't have to actually combo. So you know that way you can do, you know, 10k combo power by using two cards that can give you 5k boost without you having, and then they'd be reusable, which is always good. Like, you know, the 4-star ball, and using the Kid Goku to add the 4-star ball, so you can always have, you know, zero cost 5k combo power, right? Essentially stuff like that. So it's like using other cards to help you out combo attacks. But like I said earlier, it's like I typically only, when I combo, I usually combo 5k just to stop an attack more often than not. Just a simple 5k, no super combos necessary. Just a simple 5k is enough to stop stuff. And I like to simplify things. I like to streamline the game. You know, every turn is planned out on what I plan to do, how much damage I'm going to take, how much combo power I might end up using that turn, stuff like that. I take these things to account. So, like I mentioned earlier, the first 2 turns, I'm not trying to out combo. I'm not trying to stop you. That's why when I mulligan my negates away, because I don't need them in the first 2 turns. It's once you get to turn 3 and above is when, you know, like negates and stuff like that become, you know, necessary and more relevant. And negates, notice I didn't say super combos, I said negates. Negates and blockers become more important after turn 3. Late game, yeah, if you draw some super combos and you try to go for game and, you know, dump your whole hand and super combos, yeah, that's cool and all. You know, you can get your attacks pretty high, but, you know, you're not guaranteed victory in that regards. If super combo guaranteed you victory, you know, like 100% of the time, or even 9 out of 10, then I will use them, because hey, super combos are win cons, right? But they're not. That's the thing, they're not. And you know, the only thing that makes them special per se in people's viewpoints is that they're 10k combo power that you don't pay for. That's it. That's their only really selling point. It's not like there is no other 10k combo power cards in the game. There are other cards that give you 10k combo power, like Champa, E Supreme Kai, you know, or any 5 cost or higher battle card. Just in the locals yesterday, I paid 1 energy and used one of the copies of Android 17 Turn Tides in my hands to out combo an attack. I didn't need a super combo. I had Android 17 Turn Tides. Why do I need a super combo for it? I could pay 1 energy and out combo the attack. Easy peasy. And then what happened after that? I played my second Android 17 Turn Tide. I dropped it. I survived the turn, paid 7, turned into tides, and I won that. And I won it. I don't need super combo. I got 10k already. So that's the kind of stuff. It's like, okay, super combos are cool and all, and I'm a big fan of the ones with the effects. And one of my issues was when people started complaining about me not playing super combos back in the day, like when I stopped playing super combos for a while. But it was the super combos that you need 4 less life to play them. It's like, yeah, they're useless to me because I never get the 0 cost 10k and draw out of them, because my life is always 5 and higher. My life barely drops less than 6 life on average. Like, I'll be at 6 life, my opponent be at 2 life, And it's like, yeah, super combos are useless because I literally get no combo power. Then they made the sparking ones, sparking super combos, which I did like, but you know, I started getting into the, you know, so used to not using super combos for a long while that even the sparking ones, like, I don't need them. Even though I can get 0 cost 10k for free and I don't have to have 4 or less life to get the combo power, I don't really need it. I'd rather use Champa and E Supreme Kai, so then I've been using them for a long time. And a lot of people noticed that I was using Champa and E Supreme Kai a lot. And those were my super combos. So whenever people ask me like, oh, why don't you play super combos? Like, well, technically I do have super combos. They're Champa and E Supreme Kai. I use them instead. They're better. Nah, they cost energy. That's trash. Blah blah blah. You know, it's like, okay, that's your opinion, but they've been winning me matches. They matter. And then a lot of people caught on and, you know, and realized like it is true. It is true to have Champa or E Supreme Kai in your deck, at least one or more. But typically at least one, because that surprise factor of being able to get the 10k boost and the double strike does matter, because then it becomes like an extra super combo, right? If you are already playing super combos. But me, I don't need to. Most of my attacks tend to come from my leader anyway, or a unison, for example, or maybe a battle card I still have on the field, that, or I overwhelm, so or I play free play battle cards, so my energy is always available, so I can always pay 1 energy for 10k combo power, right? So I don't really need free 10k when I could always afford to pay for it. It's my battle cards that I pay that are free, so I'm playing a lot of free play battle cards, you know, overall and stuff like that, bodyguard legend, things of that nature. So so if I'm gonna play something for free, I'd rather it be like a battle card unison or something like that, right? Or extra card. I'd rather play something for free as opposed to like free combo power, because I already have a lot of combo power, right? You know, 5Ks, and I could pay 1 energy for 10K. So it's like, yes, I play in a different way, in a different mindset, that yes, super combo is irrelevant and very useless, at least to me. I'm not telling anybody else to not play super combos. It just keeps coming up over and over again that like people really seem to care about like super combos so much that it's like they're trying to convince me, you know, that I don't know what's going on when it comes to super combos. Like super combos is magical. It's like a secret. If you use a super combo, your win rate increases to 200% or something. Like, no, there's no guarantee. I've beaten tons of people who played super combos, and the super combos weren't enough to prevent them from losing. Shit, I've beaten people who had huge hand sizes. It's because the way I play, the hand size is irrelevant because I already took that to account. I expected them to have a big hand size, and then I play something that burns them for game. Yay! Hand size means nothing when I'm burning you, or milling you, or turning the tides you, or a perfect force sell you, or, you know, shit. Sometimes even something like a Miraclear Absorb, Cell Zeno play can make a big difference. Android 21, Bad Omen, and the list goes on and on, of you know what I could do. Or I just swing with so many battle cards because I have certain different combos, and there's one OTK strategy where I summon a whole bunch of 30k skillless battle cards and swing with them, and you need 20 combo power for each attack, which means you need 2 super combos per each attack. And if you only have 4 super combos, in your hand, you can stop 2 attacks, but you're not going to stop the other 6 attacks that's coming your way, because more likely I'm going to have 8 30k skillless battle cards swinging at you. Not to mention that I'll still have like a leader swing, an overwhelm swing, right? Possibly coming up afterwards. So it's like, yeah, good luck surviving with super combos when I'm doing shit like that. But anyway, to each their own. Just had some thoughts, because people seem to really like the whole super combo debate. I guess that's what it is. People debating me on the value of super combos as if I don't know nothing about them. It's like I do use super combos, just not a lot, and it depends on what deck I'm playing that I have super combos. Like my cell deck that I'm putting together is going to have Android 18 super combo, obviously because she helps me with the cell chain, but also her effect. Those are the two reasons why I'm using her. She's Android 18 and her effect. It's not because she's a super combo. She just so happens to be one. When I use Nappa super combo, it's because he's a 10k body that I can play for free. So I combo, right? Get that free 0 cost 10k, and then play him as a 10k body, and then swing with him, and Champa, and make him a 20k double strike, for example, and do some damage. That way, for one energy, I could potentially do 3 damage, right? I swing with the leader, use Nappa, swing with, if my leader's not awakened yet, 20 to my opponent's leader, bang, he hits the field, I swing with him, Champa him, he's 20 double strike, 2 more damage goes through, right? So 3 damage off of 1 energy in a super combo, right? And to me, that's more important than the fact that I got the 0 cost 10k power. It was useful, it just wasn't the most important thing in the world. It could have been a 0 cost 5k and it still would have been relevant enough, because it hitting the field, it was way more useful to me than the combo power. What else? And there's some other super combos that I use, but Nappa I use the most. There's this new cell, a yellow-green cell super combo that does what Nappa does. You combo and then you can play it. So I definitely use that one in I'll be using that one a lot in yellow decks. When I'm going aggro, when I'm trying to do six damage turn 1 type stuff. If you ever watch my X-hit combo videos, that's a strategy that I use as well. The strategy of doing 6+ damage on turn 1. I've done that plenty of times, so a lot of people are already aware of that. So nothing new, nothing new for me. Dealing somebody 6 damage turn 1. So there's that. That's a thing. But playing stuff for free is preferably like a battle card, unison, extra cards. Anything I could play for free is obviously good. A lot of people like free stuff, of course. It's why I do what I play what I play mostly, or a useful effect. I'd rather have a card that reduces my opponent's hand size, like Android 18 super combo, than a card that draws me a card, or gives or even just gives me 10k for free, because that's nice and all, but not that important to me. Reducing my opponent's hand size, definitely important to me, because I'm trying to win the game, and the way you win the game is bypassing blockers, bypassing negate, and bypassing your opponent's hand size, which AK means combo power, right? So you want to bypass those 3 barriers, right? Barriers to victory. And once you bypass those 3 barriers, you're good. There's literally a 7-drop Goku sign, Ultra Instinct sign, or whatever, and he doesn't let your opponent combo. So super combos are relevant in that regards. So since your opponent can't combo, you don't even need to waste time comboing yourself, because the attack's going to go through, right? You just need to make sure they can't block or negate the attack. And it has an effect that when you evolve it, it bounces all your opponent's battle cards to the hand, so that gets rid of blockers right off the bat. Your opponent can't combo when you attack with it, so that takes care of the combo scenario. So all you have to do is worry about negate. So if you have something like Golden Avenger and stuff like that, or some type of counter to negate an attack, bang, GG, right? Game, set, match. I remember sharing that combo a long time ago, using the baby Trunks Unison to do the -5 thing, so that way you can have that way you could play the Golden Avenger for free, right? By pitching 2 cards, and then drop this, the Goku, use, and of course you evolve the Goku, so you got rid of blockers, you swing with Goku, your opponent tries to negate, so you just immediately drop the Golden Ape and stop it by pitching 2 cards, and then now Goku's attack go through, and GG, because Obviously, they can't out combo, so the attack is definitely going through. End game, right? Especially if you got your opponent down to 2 life, which is not that hard because the first 4 damage is the easiest, next 2 requires a little bit of effort, so like a Champa for example, and the last 2 is the hardest because your opponent's going to do everything they can not to take the 2 damage. Even they'll play something where they take 1 life in order to try to stop you from dealing them 2 damage with like a blocker negate or something like that, or a sparking negate. Think about that. Think about that. People literally take a life just so they don't lose both their lives to play a negate. So the last 2 is the hardest, so make it easier. And once you make it easier, super combos are irrelevant. Shit, combo power is irrelevant. Once you make the game easy to the point where combo is irrelevant and it's not a factor, it's not a determining factor if you win or lose, it's not even registered, it's not even there, it's not even a thing. Comboing's not a thing, not for me anyway. I guess I'm built different. And that's the end of the video.